Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a gold 6-stack on console. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. So here we are setting up. We are reviewing blue team. They said they were defending first. And if we look at what they're running, we've got ourselves a Reinhardt, we've got a Lucio BAP, so we're looking pretty brawly. Hog isn't quite the normal fit that we'd put here, but so be it. And then we're basically, McCree. So if we look at this in sort of the most what would be closest to a meta comp that they would be running, it would be the Reinhardt, the McCree, the BAP, and the Lucio. These four are components of Brawl. This isn't one of the heroes you normally run in Brawl. This isn't one of the heroes you normally run in Brawl, but neither of these are wild. These will still function in a poke Brawl type style. So let's take a look here.
Five, four, three.
So we put McCree up on the high ground. Where did we put our soldier?
Defend
Well,
objective
we
A.
put our soldier out there trying to get an opening shot. So I want to see where he's actually going to set up. Lucio's helping him out. He's staying too long. It's time to kite, guys. It is time to kite. It is time to kite. It is time to kite. Please don't fight out here. Okay. So we didn't actually want to take the fight out here. If you guys wanted to do some poke at them and then fade as they start to even get even remotely close, like you're poking at them from here while they're here, and then as they start to advance, and maybe once they get to here, you guys go, and now we'll leave some more. And now we're actually going to set up to seriously hold this, where we can put our Reinhardt on this corner, we can put our McCree up here, we can put maybe our soldier over here, we can have our Hog thinking about holding security, and our BAP hopping back up here, or maybe our soldier went to join our BAP up here. That would have been fine. Or maybe our soldier went here and our McCree went here. I don't really care. But like we actually wanted to be holding more around a place where this choke was difficult for them to break, this corner was difficult for them to break. Really, this whole space was hard for them to go through. We didn't want to fight out here where we did fight, because what happens when we do that is we're in this situation where, I don't know, do we have any really good defensive terrain advantages? We sort of have a corner for our back line, but we're just giving them a bunch of Rhine Shield to shoot at here. This isn't really helping us. We don't have better angles than them. In fact, they sort of have better angles than us. Their Sigmas over here, their Hogs over here. This isn't great. We wanted to use the terrain to our advantage, the chokes to our advantage. Yeah. That helps. They weren't willing to push their lead. They should have been, but they paid it. They, rather than stabilizing it, they played it passive, and you guys actually got a pick while they were playing it passive. That helps a lot. But they're still ultimately going to do it. Even though their team is, well, maybe not. If you removed enough support, yeah, okay. Only because their support line sucks.
My APM.
Griggs Zen and Gold Console would not be my recommendation for anyone's support line. Okay, so just trying to do some more from high ground. Hog's trying to anchor point as best he can. Baby D.Va does not need to be on point.
Meteor strike.
Okay, so they're going to clean this up. The big issue was literally that you took the fight in the wrong spot. You guys would have been so much more powerful if they pushed a point when you guys had hit scan on opposing high grounds, they were in bad shape. If you'd been able to just kite backwards, all that would have been amazing. No, we're not recontesting into this. No! Wow. Okay, let's go back and look. So here we are. Oh, that was way too far, everyone. My bad. I didn't realize I was still on 20-second rewinds there. My apologies.
This is so good.
So this should be a cleanup for red team, and we are reviewing blue team. That's what this should be. Hog does not get an opening pick there for the recontest. We decide that we're going to contest with D.Va anyway. And D.Va's in here 1v4ing. 1v4ing while discorded. Now, she's doing it to stall point, but the cap is already at 90%. And no one else is that close. Hog is kind of close, but Hog isn't really that close. They should easily be able to remove D.Va from the game before Hog touches point again. So this is a mistake to even contest. Lucio is able to get in here and does hit the beat. And the beat does catch Baby D.Va. But again, now we've invested this beat into this 2v5 on point. Yes, now we're going to have more people joining. And yes, one of them, maybe even both of them, will get the beat. Oh, Soldier didn't get it. That's a crime. We shouldn't have expected this to work, to be perfectly honest. We should have had our beat for this whole... Okay, we'll deal. We'll deal. Gold games can be wild. Now it's fine to invest ults because this fight is, you know, very winnable. Okay. It's a D.Va Hail Mary that worked, basically. But not of the self-destruct kind. Okay, so now we have both of our high ground. I like that we've got some high ground control here, but I actually want these two. These two are your biggest sources of damage, really, and they're shooting from the same angle. So, like, cover that works against one of them is very likely to work against both of them. Cover that works against one of them is very likely to work against both of them. You generally want to spread out your angled threats a little more. So if you have your McCree on this forward high ground, because he's got a little shorter range, you'd have your Soldier on this backwards high ground, this back high ground. And that would be like, hey, cover, say you put your shield up and your shield is blocking against McCree, it's not blocking against Soldier. You put it up against Soldier, it's not blocking against McCree. You move evasively against Soldier, and you're just moving like this against McCree, which isn't hard for him to hit. You move evasively against McCree, and you're just moving like this against Soldier, and it's hard for him to hit. You do want to spread your hit scan out, spread your poke threats out a little bit. Now, that doesn't mean you have to completely do it. For example, you could be like, say you have your Soldier here, and you have your McCree and your Ana both back here, so that your McCree is able to protect your Ana a little bit. That's fine. But most of how McCree and Soldier protect each other is by being able to shoot at things that jump on either one of them. They want to be able to see each other. They want to be able to be like, hey, we have, just as an example, our McCree here, our Soldier here, and they can shoot at where each other are if a diver jumps on the other one. They're not primarily looking to peel for each other with their flashbang and with their heal station, which are things that they might have to be next to each other to peel with. They get more total value by being spread out and playing separate angles. They really do in most situations.
Pass into the iris.
And now you guys swapped off of your Reinhardt and went into D.Va Hog, and I don't really like that. I get that you did it. The reason you did it probably is because you felt like your Reinhardt shield just got obliterated playing into their D.Va Hog. Are they D.Va Hog? They're Sigma Hog, excuse me. But the solution to that isn't actually to go, oh, well, if they're playing double off tank, I'll play double off tank. Double off tank isn't particularly good. The solution to that is to have cover, to make them go, okay, well, if you're going to do that, you can't actually shoot at my shield until you're in close. And once you're in close, I can swing at you. I'm just not going to give you a bunch of shield to shoot at. They were able to because you stood here with a Rein shield and let them break it. Let them break it while you were still in the open. You needed to have a corner so they couldn't shoot at your shield until they were close enough that you could just walk at them and swing. You wanted to have basically your full shield to play with to get close to them and swing. You didn't want to just give them time to walk at your shield. If you play around corners with Reinhardt, they won't be able to break your shield until they're within or they won't even be able to start to break your shield until they're within a few steps of you being able to swing at them, and it'll hold out plenty for you to take those few steps to start swinging at them. The problem was not your hero selection. It was that you were letting them shoot at your shield. Corners. Okay, so now we're going to spread out for our angles. Again, we dropped everyone. For some reason, okay, so we've got our soldier up here. That's nice, but wouldn't it be nice to maybe have someone over here, one of our off tanks, to maybe have our other hit scan up here, to maybe have our Anna. Anna's almost in the right place, back here, or she could be up here too. Like, either one of those would be great. And then our Lucio could play around here on this wall. It's a little annoying, but he can do it even with the plant there. That was very predictable, guys. It was very predictable that as you push in like this, they're going to come through like this. This is why I sort of want one of your tanks here controlling this space, and I want another tank thinking about security, or another tank playing from here where they can think about security. And then if your tanks get pushed, when one is playing like here or here, and the other is playing here, well, if they push this way, they get shot from behind. If they try to push this tank, they get pushed from behind. That's more how we're thinking about this. Our angles absolutely matter, especially if we're playing double off tank. Okay. Rally, self-destruct, visor. Everybody press Q. It's gold, all right. Get some full hogs in there. Okay.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Okay. So you guys just need to back up. So like if you guys get bad spawns, the way this works is you need to retreat until you've got your 6 and then retake space as a group. You don't have to retake space with like 6 people walking in this direction, but you need everyone relevant as you're retaking space. You're not going to post 2 people up here and 1 person here while 3 people are back here. You're not going to do that if you get split spawns like that. So you back up until you're able to sort of recalibrate people, and then you push up to take your angles, to take your space. You shouldn't have this situation where, oh look, there's 3 of us on second point, and the rest of us are back on third point. You're too likely to get staggered if you're trying to take your space while only 3 of you are on second point, and 5, 6 of them are on second point. You're just too likely to get staggered. So you need to retreat back to third, and then push back out. Oh, I missed one of you. So there's 4 of you on second point. You still need to do it. You do. You're about to get snowballed through second. Oh! Well, the Doomfist got punished. There's a prayer. It's not great, but there's a prayer. We've got a little bit of angle control, but our Reinhardt is trying to be sneaky without shatter. This is not going to be good. That's not a good engage. So if you look at this timing, Reinhardt is thinking, I'm going to make a big play. And I totally understand that. And I respect the desire. That's some, big play energy, whatever we want to call it. Great. But who's going to help with this play? As these people turn around to deal with Reinhardt, or even if Reinhardt gets a pin, who's going to help with this play? Well, this whole team can pay attention to this Reinhardt as soon as they realize what's going on. And these guys, these 2 right here, would have to get all the way up to here before they're relevant for contributing to this fight. They'd have to get all the way up here. So this person's really the only person who can contribute to the fight right now. So timing is key. If we're going to make a big, dangerous play like your Reinhardt is trying to make, I can live with that, but the play has to happen when your team can contribute to the fight. And these 2 can't contribute to the fight right now. And we have someone else back over here coming back from spawn still on third. So this isn't the time to make this play. Timing is critical when it comes to playing as a team here. Absolutely critical. When you make this play, you have to look. Before you drop, you can be up here as Reinhardt and go, okay, I'm going to make a play, but you just look around through the walls because you can see your teammates through the walls. And where are my teammates, or you Comet, where are my teammates, and then you make the play after you're sure that enough of your team can contribute. And it doesn't have to be all of them, because like someone's missing on their team too. So you might go, hey, we're going to make this play as a 5v5. So be it. But these two need to be up here if that's what we're doing. They do. And you might go, oh, but they can't go up there because there's this here. Yeah, that's true. That's a problem. And it's probably not a good idea to make this play right now. And you might say, oh, but by going here, these two will come back. Okay, but are these two going to be ready to actually commit and win the fight? I don't think so. Right. So Reinhardt and McCree are now going to get 5v2'd. And that played out exactly how we expected. Reinhardt and McCree got 5v2'd, and these guys ran up to try to help, but they were too late. It's exactly what we expected to happen. And I didn't do that because I'm psychic, because I had some premonition. That was obvious from the state of the board. Like, it was obvious that that was going to happen from the state of the board, and you could have prevented that by just looking around as Reinhardt, and in general, looking around because you're the main tank before you initiate on, well, where's my team? If I initiate, is my team going to be able to contribute, or am I feeding? Because that was a feed. And if you go, oh, my team are in position to contribute, they don't have to all be right here, but they have to be like here and here where they can contribute. They can open the angle immediately if they want. Then we've got a very reasonable chance of the play working. Okay. That D.Va's gonna get sat. Oh, that got surprisingly close to taking down the McCree. Closer than I expected. Go to cart, guys. We want to go to cart. Oh, or get out. Getting out is fine too, but you got to go to cart or get out. So we didn't really get a good fight on second here. We've got maybe one more chance. No, we don't get a chance anymore. Now we're setting up for third. Don't do it, Lucio. Fine. Wait, we're coming out for real? Okay. This could be one of those messy things that works out. Lucio stalled it long enough for your team to get out here. Sure. Good. Good. Okay.
My trailer is that way, you imbeciles!
So, let's take our high ground control. We've set up our McCree. Where's our soldier? Our soldier's here. Again, I'd really like to sort of be like, hey, my McCree's here and my soldier's here. I could go McCree here, soldier here, but I'd actually like McCree here, soldier here. That's what I'd like. And then we've got this nice, hey, we punish them from multiple directions thing, and it's hard for them, and cover against one doesn't work against the other. And if they sort of decide to dive here, our McCree sprints and can run back, or drops and sprints and runs back type thing. Like, that's what we're looking to do, to sort of make it hard on them. Or if they successfully rotate, we run back, and then we're going, okay, we've got one hit scan up here, maybe we've got one in jail, we've got our team playing around here, or a team playing here. Like, there's lots of ways to do this, but we do want to get good spread angle control. And we're back on this no main tank thing that I don't love. I can tell that our Reinhardt player doesn't like being Rein. Or they don't like playing Rein into double off tank at least. And that's almost certainly a case of not using corners well. And this isn't better. Going, oh, well, now I'm going to do it, and now I've got my Sigma here isn't better because Sigma's still not using a corner. Sigma also has to use corners. Sigma doesn't just get to stand in the open with the shield up. The shield will get wrecked. It's only got 700 HP, less than Reinhardt's. Then you've got the shift, but that's not going to last forever either. You need to play around a corner as Sigma. You need to be like, hey, maybe I'm here, maybe I'm standing behind this thing, I peek, I throw some orbs. I peek, I throw some orbs. I peek, I throw some orbs, I throw my shield up, I throw some more orbs. I pull it down, I unpeek. I peek, I throw some orbs, you guys are shooting at me, I shift, I absorb, right as my shift ends, I go behind, so you don't stun me out of it perhaps. Then I come back out, and now I'm willing to spend some of that temporary health I got from the shift throwing more orbs. But I have cover I'm playing around. I have cover that I'm playing around, because Sigma, needs that cover to be able to sustain. He does. He's also got the slow sort of reload type animation he has, where he's 2 orbs, wait for a kind of reload of those 2 orbs, then throw them again, and he'd really like to be able to be behind hard cover during some of those reloads. That won't hold. That shift won't hold. And you see how that works, Sigma? Like, you're sitting here, you know the high noon is going off, so you have to get towards cover. You have to go to cover. And you just dance in the open. You do a Sigma dance. You don't go, oh, hey, let me try to get behind this. You don't go, oh, hey, let me try to get behind this. You just dance in the open here, and you know it's not going to last long enough. You can hold the high noon for 6 seconds. Your shift is 2. And now you're in the open, and it's just a done deal. You're eliminated. And that didn't have to be the case.
Draw.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
This will give you a little rough. Yeah, you guys just need to... No. Okay, you can try. So when you get bad spawn like this, you either try to group up together and then rotate out as 6, which you absolutely could have done, rather than feeding out a couple at a time and some of you over here, or you just try to beeline it as fast as possible to get out, which isn't really quite what you did either towards your fresh spawn. Okay. Lucio, what are you up to? You just got eliminated over there. What are you doing again? I think you're a little too interested in getting to the cart and stopping the cart, Lucio, and I think your team in general might not be enough interested in that, but you're trying to compensate by being too interested. You did get the stop at the end of second that was useful, that your team was then able to turn into a team fight win, but like you gotta be thinking about this in lost fights, we want to stop the cart from moving. Yes, if we're in a lost fight and we don't think we can get out, stop the cart from moving. But if we're going to get out, or if, hey, we're very high probability to get out, or we could, by getting out, get more of our teammates out with our speed aura, that's something that we're going to strongly consider doing so that we can take a fresh team fight. Because the way we actually stop this cart long term is we take a team fight, which is generally going to be a 6v6, and we win it. And that sets us up to win the next one with how ult charge works, with how terrain, angles, map control works, where once we've won a fight, we can take good map control, win further fights using that stuff and the ult charge. That's what we want to do. Just throwing ourselves at the point, we'll take some time off the clock, we'll slow it down, we'll make them finish with less time. But if we want to actually take time off the clock in big chunks of 30, 45 seconds at a time, we have to win team fights. Which means we need our team to properly reset and go take a fresh team fight, not just throw ourselves, come out here to go at the cart, come out here to go at the cart. No, we don't want to do that unless we can't really get out, or, it's like, hey, it's the end of a checkpoint and maybe we're doing it specifically to try to get one more. That's less good, but so be it.
Oh, I can see the relief.
Routing power to forward shield.
Yep. Gemfist is just crushing you guys. In general, you'd want to deal with the threat that is inside your team before you try to deal with all the threats out here. You do. You'll have an easier time dealing with this threat that's inside your team, and you can also use cover, like these walls as cover. You can tuck your tanks behind these walls while they shoot back at this thing. And if someone tries to run forward, well, now they're inside your team as well, and you can shoot them like this. But the rest of their team still can't shoot you because walls. But in general, you'll notice this entire defense, I've been pushing you guys to take more angles, particularly with your double hit scan here, because the team with more and greater angles tends to win. Well, this Doomfist inside your team is a huge angle. It's a 180-degree angle from the rest of his team on your team. So it has to be removed first, because the team with more and greater angles generally wins, and he's got a great angle on your team. So let's remove that. Let's deal with that first. Just walk to point. Just walk to point. Good cancel hook. Good. Good soldier. Lucia's gonna stall. Not sure why we dropped. We didn't get hooked. No, Anna, don't go to point. Anna, what are you doing? There's a Nano Lucio on point. You do not need to be here. You can keep a Nano Lucio dancing around on point alive much longer from, say, over here than you can by going to point yourself. Like, if you think about the total amount of stall time you get, as Anna, you're going to do a much better job of keeping someone alive stalling on point from here. Let's say you keep this person alive who would have stalled 5 seconds instead for 10 seconds. Okay, that's cool. If you run to point, you'll do a very poor job of keeping this person alive, but maybe you stall the cart for another 2 seconds. So it's 10 seconds versus 7 seconds. Well, this one is for sure better. This one is for sure better, and it's a simulated scenario that I'm walking through here, but this is almost always how it's going to go, not with these specific numbers, but where the Anna keeping someone alive on point is way better than the Anna going to point. Way better. Now, if they're eliminated and there's no one on point, you can resume walking towards point, and if you don't make it, so be it. But if there's anyone on point, Anna, you're better off trying to keep them alive. You really are, rather than walking to point yourself, because you will do a much worse job of keeping them alive while you're on point with them.
30 seconds remaining.
Is Doomfist going to come in and roll all of you? Let me rephrase that. Yeah, that's about what I'd guess. Or are you going to hold it? Wait. We just had all this time, and we didn't go put our soldier or our McCree back up here. Hog's got the right idea, taking this off angle, but they have to push in to here, to here, to here. And we didn't go put a second off tank in this angle. We didn't go put a hit scan up here. The hit scan up here might not be able to shoot them out there without rotating, but they have to walk to point, and we'd be able to just pound them with bullets from here. Pound them with bullets. That would be amazing. Why don't we do that? Please, use your dead time to do that.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay. Sure. I don't know why we jumped the gun so quickly on shooting that Sleeping Sigma, but okay. And now they're gonna overwhelm you. They might not. You've still got shots. Now they're gonna... Yeah. Yeah, you guys literally go up a full tier in strength, like from a gold team to a plat team, if you're like, soldier up here, or McCree up here. Hog here, second tank here. If you guys try to push mid, we shoot you like this. If you try to push these angles, we can back out to here, still have cover, and still be able to cover it pretty well. Like, set up a soldier or McCree here, the other one maybe right here. Like, this is you'd be so much harder to break if you guys set up good angles. Like, so much harder to break. It's the easiest change that you guys can make to play way better. And likewise, if they send a Doomfist in, cool. We'll all turn and deal with the Doomfist, but we'll do so in such a way where, hey, our Hog will back out to here. He's no longer in there. He's here, where he's got cover. Our other off tank will back out to here, where he's here. He's got cover against the team that would like to push. And if more of the team pushes, sure, maybe they turn and shoot these guys. But they're shooting these guys where they can't be pressured from the support from the other team. Yes, I should be changing arrow colors more often. Okay. Okay. We didn't like the Doomfist, so we're running our own Doomfist? That's not the solution, guys. It's really not. And I know it feels like, oh, but the Doomfist, and we don't want to split because then the Doomfist will punish us harder. No, if you split better, you'll be able to take out the Doomfist as he's staging. You'll be able to, not take him out, but chip him down so he's not willing to come in.
Let's get moving.
You'll have more angles, which gives them less cover to hide behind, which means you get to pressure them down before the Doomfist gets in. And then he'd have to come in with 3/4 health, which he really doesn't like to do. Really doesn't. Like, it is very uncomfortable as Doomfist to engage while you're missing resources. Okay, now you're going to attack.
3.
Are they going to fade back properly, or are they going to do exactly what you did?
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Okay, what they're doing is a little bit different. No, it's not. They're doing it exactly how you did. They're just as wrong. At least Reinhardt's sort of using the corner there. Just reset, reset. Your Rein's too weak. Pull back, pull back, pull back. Stabilize. Push back up, you're fine. You did not need to rush that. You did not need to rush that. You were winning. That was a bad charge. Peel the Doom, peel the Doom. Rein, you do not turn to peel the Doom there. Great. Reinhardt, shield, blocking all the damage from this direction. Team, focus on Doomfist. Doomfist gets eliminated, or gets forced very low health and forced to leave, and then he's out cooldowns and low health, and while they're healing him up, and while he's down cooldowns, then you can push. That's one thing that can happen, or you could wait for your team. But the Reinhardt does not turn to deal with the Doomfist because that allows the rest of the opposing team... Nope, that's not what we want. That allows the rest of the opposing team to potentially contribute their damage, when otherwise Rein was keeping it out while we dealt with the Doomfist. I don't want to just give them a shield. They shouldn't get a shield to swing at for no reason. Go bind cover, Reinhardt. Go bind cover. Now you have health. You can push main if you want. It's fine. Hard shield, bind cover. So be it. Doom, are you going to get high ground? No.
Огонь по готовности!
Doomfist is free. You're not going to get him, but you're going to force him out. And now you can push. Great. You still win, even through the rally. Yep. Cap it. Easy peasy. Unfortunate. But you still cap it. Okay. You can take out that Moira, great.
The payload.
You can push out that Doomfist, should not get any eliminations. Great. Okay, so we've chosen to control Cafe and main. That's fine. Be careful about that. Yeah. It's fine. We don't need to push right now. We don't want to push right now. Please don't push. Please don't push. Not a good read on you guys from the state of battle. Remember, you can always press tab to see, press tab and it'll show both teams and it'll show your team's ult status and it'll show how many of you are alive versus how many of them are alive. That's not perfectly enough information by itself because you don't know, hey, is someone alive but they're literally walking out of spawn versus someone alive standing right here. Those are two different things, but it's the like very most basic first level of game sense of getting a feel for what is this fight. You further articulate what the fight actually is in terms of numbers, first number, based on what you've seen in the feed over here recently, based on your knowledge of how long it takes to walk from one spawn to another and what spawn people should have gotten. You further articulated that, but let's get at least a little bit of understanding of what the status of the fight is before we try to push in to these disadvantaged fights when we could wait like 2 to 3 seconds and have more people than them because we have the closer spawn. Disadvantaged or even fights. Okay, let's take our high ground control. Pharah's helping with that, but we could get Soldier up there too. Good. There should be no chance of losing our Soldier here. Good. Pharah might have to leave. Pharah swap for the Doomfist was fine. Just a reset. Work your guys' way back towards first. Either get eliminated now, which now you have to do, or get out towards first. Yeah. That took too long for you guys to get eliminated. They're actually staggering you. They might not mean to be. They're kind of doing it with bad aim, but they're staggering you, and you shouldn't let them. Pull back the Sigma shield. Yeah, so you don't actually win this. You don't actually win this center lane by pushing down the center lane. You win this center lane by getting control of this and at least taking away their control of this. And then the center lane is relatively free for you. But you have to get control of the sides in order to win the center. You have to like get control of one side and not let them have control of the other side to win the center. You don't actually need to just run it down mid. Just run it down mid is not actually the strat. You will have much more success if you spend more resources getting control of this first. You really will. Even for a retake, even though the cart's already here, you got to do it again. You got to get control of this again. So we're not just going to send our Pharah up here. We're maybe going to send our Pharah up here. Maybe we're going to send our Rhine up here, but we're at least going to send like our Pharah and our Sigma up here to try to get control of it. Maybe our Pharah and our Soldier and our Sigma up here. Maybe we're going to send our whole team of 6 down here and then go up. But we're not going to send like just our Pharah or just our Pharah Lucio. That's not going to be a thing. I'd actually like my Lucio spending a lot more time around my Rhine and their Rhine and a lot less. Oh well.
Get into position.
Vamos esculachar! It's Hanu.
So see how this mid battle actually isn't going amazing, even though we're investing resources? It's working okay, but what really is going to unlock this, is our Pharah came out over here and then is pelting rockets down from here, and our Soldier came over here. It's the control that we used from this side that is unlocking mid for us. It really is. And you see how even when you're down one, I'm willing to fairly confidently predict how the fight is going to go, just based on where your players are on the board, what space, what portion of the map you've taken, where people are, and what the timing is. Like, yes, sometimes you guys will throw me for a loop because it's gold console where everyone's aim is bad and sometimes things get wonky, etc. But there's a high level of accuracy that you can use in these predictions because the positioning and the timing controls so much of the outcome of the battle. So we need to, before we engage, look at where our team is, see if they're ready, and then go take that engage. And we need to be playing for these flank controls, these off-angle controls, these, hey, the high ground, the edge controls the middle type stuff. Like, that's what we need to do. Just like over on first, hey, if we have control of this and this, and maybe we've got someone planted here, an off tank, and then a tank planted here, it's going to be really hard. All this stuff means we control this mid path. You cannot walk through this mid path. We can rain on you. We can shoot you. We can shoot you. We can shoot you. Like, they have to remove you guys from here first. They have to figure out, can we make this person go away? Can we make this person go away first? They can't just run it up mid. They just get rolled if you guys had defended that how I was talking about. And it's the same thing here. Your offense is working now because you're getting control of this and this first. You're fair and we'll win from there. Yeah, you're still okay. Now you could be in trouble because they're coming out with the Kree on the off angle, but their timing sucks, so you're still okay. Should be good. Except that your soldier got way too close for no reason. Your soldier had no business getting that close. If your soldier didn't get that close, you win this fight, hands down. Even with them having spawn advantage. Unfortunate.
30 seconds remaining.
Wait for it. Just wait for your team to regroup. You only get one more push. You can spend the time taking high ground, exactly. Your Lucio will touch. He doesn't need to rush it, he'll touch.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay, this is good. But this is a little early. It looks okay, fine. Your Sigma's fighting for real, so your rest of your team needs to fight for real too now. Your Reinhardt's going to be late, and that's just life. Yeah, you see how your Sigma was really engaged before the rest of your team was engaged? That's a timing issue. And now your Sigma goes down, so now they get to have their 5v6. And they were always going to have at 5v6 because your Rein was going to be late, and there's nothing you could do about that based on spawn timers and the time on the clock. But you really let them have quick elimination on your Sigma before the rest of your team was in the fight, which really means they got a 6v4, which sucks. Sleep the Rein. Why is the Rein not asleep? Okay. So that's going to do it. In terms of what you guys need to work on, it really is going to be two things. The first thing is, do I want to call this three things? It's really going to be two things. The first thing is going to be, hey, we want to make sure that we understand what engagement timing looks like. We want to engage when the rest of our team is ready to engage. And yes, this applies to our Reinhardt player. It also applies to our Sigma player. And it also applies to like a Pharah or a Soldier player who might open an angle and start shooting at things. We want our aggression to be synchronized. It doesn't have to all be from the same direction, but we want to try to synchronize it when we can. That's how we get a lot of power, a big boost of power. The opponents don't know who to look at, or if they do, at least all of our power is hitting them at once. And that's like multiplicative instead of additive. It's not, but it's better than just adding it together. So like we really want to be like, hey, we we are looking where the rest of our team is. We're doing a little bit of game sense, even if it's just, hey, I press tab to see how many allies are alive, and then I look around before I push in, before I wrap my way into dangerous space, before I push up to see where my teammates, if I start fighting, will they also be able to contribute to the fight. Doesn't have to be from the same spot I'm contributing to the fight, but will they realistically be contributing to the fight within 1 second if I start the fight? That's something that you want to answer, and you want the answer to that to be yes before you go and start fights. And this applies to really all of your players, but especially to your tank and DPS players. Especially to your main tank, but it does still apply to your off tank and DPS. It even applies to your supports, but even less so. The second thing is I really want you guys taking and understanding these angles. These angles open up the points. Spend the resources, use the players to get control of this, You saw how much better that worked when you did that. I liked your last attack effort. You guys were thinking about the angles, you were doing it, just didn't happen. Do the stuff to go, hey, even when we're defending, we have time, our hog's over here, that's cool. Let's also get over here. Let's think about having control over here as well. Like, we want our angles. More and better angles equals better. And more angles unlocks or locks the point, depending on whether you're offense or defense there. And same thing we can go back on first. Really, really hard for a team to push through mid if you guys control this, and you have someone playing a corner here, and maybe you have someone else playing somewhere in this range. Like, really hard for them to do anything about it. Really hard. Now they can hit rotations and go around this way. They can go around this way to force this person to leave, to try to shrink your angles. But then they're having to take extra steps, which takes time off the clock, which is good for you if you're defense. So that's what we want to do. First, we're thinking about, hey, is the rest of our team ready to engage? Second, we're thinking about, we really want to control these angles, especially when we're playing these double hit scan. There's no reason for us not to be spread with our hit scan on different angles. It's really, really powerful. And the third thing, this is specifically for your tank player. It's okay to play Reinhardt, or it really is, or you can play Sigma. I don't really care what you want to play, but please use your corners. You don't get to just exist in the open out there. Use your actual corners. If it feels like, oh, it's too much, my Rein shield is getting shredded, that's because you're not standing behind cover. You make them walk to a place where you can now take one step and start swinging at them, or they walk right into you without having been able to hurt your shield at all, and then you start swinging at them. That is one of the magical, powerful things about corners. So that's going to do it for this one. If you guys or anyone else have questions, go ahead and throw them up in chat now. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all of that good stuff. And I'll check in on chat here. It doesn't look like it's been terribly active this round, which that's not a big deal. It's just a little surprising. It's also possible my chat bugged out. I see people pinging me on Discord. Did my chat bug out? Is that what they're telling me? Nope. Probably just a quiet day for you guys. So yeah, that's going to basically do it here then. Back here, Temporal, how's it going? Hey, Ryan, it's going pretty well. If you haven't already, we did just before this VOD do a response to a thread about how much do coaches coach. I think they were, that was in the pro scene, etc. So that's a good video to go check out if you're curious about that type of thing. That was, a little bit different, not our standard VOD review here, etc. And then we just did a review right here of a gold console team, or a gold console friend group. I suppose this wasn't a scrim, this was a regular game. So a gold console team group, however we want to consider it there. But it's going well. I think that's pretty much going to do it. So I think we'll call it here. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.